Okay, I wanted to give an account of how my experience went um, with Beauty Eternal and um, the things that I do not think are the norm. I think um, I'm probably very much the exception of of things going awry and unsatisfactory. So I do not believe that this is the norm for Nina's work or how she handles things. But this is my story and my views and how I felt um, about the whole process. And I have been a client and a friend to Deborah, which is who referred me to Nina for this procedure. And the way I understood it was that Nina was going to be training Deborah on how to do PDO threads. And Deborah had given me the opportunity to be one of the 4 or 5 people that Nina would be doing a full facelift PDO threads on at a discounted price of $500 in order to train Deborah. So, with my birthday coming up in October, I thought I should take advantage of this opportunity to have the procedure done. I have had PDO threads in the past. And now being able to compare, there was a huge, huge difference in my experiences with how they were done before and how things were handled this time. So I've waited several weeks to make this video because I needed the time and the space to actually get in a better mindset that I could convey this without being emotional or coming from a place of fear, frustration, anger, all those things. And anyway, to proceed with the story, I was booked for the procedure to come on July 21st at 12:30 to have the procedure done. I thought maybe Nina would do one side and Deborah would do the other side because that's part of the learning process. That was not the case. I went in, I filled out the paperwork, I sat in the chair. Nina proceeded to put the threads in my face. They were very, very dimpled, which was not my experience with previous PDO threads. But I was told several times, this is normal, this is normal, this is normal. Give it a few days and 2 weeks max for the threads to loosen. I did everything on my part. I wore my head wrap to keep my face from moving, and I wasn't over expressive. I have all picture documentations of everything from the day of until yesterday. So there is a progression. So I came home and I thought I was fine. The threads that were predominant were on the high cheekbone and on the lower cheek. So it was very, very noticeable. The other ones apparently, there was another one here that was very deep in, but a few days later, that one popped. And then it has been these two that have been the issue from day one. I did show some concern. She kept telling me that it was normal. I also was very confused at where the threads, where they were supposed to be coming out of my face, because I know about PDO threads and how they're done. But a few days after having the procedure, she asked me to come back in to loosen them up. And at that time, I had asked her how they were done. That was when I was told, 2 days after I had the procedure done, that she did not use regular PDO threads, that PLLA threads were used in a reverse technique, which I was not aware of at the time of the procedure. Not that I would have canceled or not gone through the procedure. I trust Deborah and Nina enough. I just think in hindsight now, that would have been something that I would have wanted to know, especially being in the beauty business. I am all about education and knowing exactly what is going on. I don't feel like that was never even told to me until 2 days after the procedure. The exits of the threads were not on the top. They had been coming out on the actual face. She explained to me why she did it, how she did it, and what the effect is supposed to be. And I remember her saying, oh, anybody can do PDO thread, a baby can do PDO thread, and this is much better. They last longer. They, they have bigger cogs on them, so the barbs are bigger. So at that point, I was still optimistic and very much, looking forward to the end result and the continued healing and releasing of the threads. As time went on, though, they were not releasing. Now we're 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, and, my personal clients are asking me, what is going on with your face? Also, when I had gone back for another adjustment, she did some injections here and some machine, which I'm not sure what that was about, but I also lost a lot of volume on this side. So I had what looked like one big cheek and one flat cheek. So things are finally starting to settle now better. But up until a week and a half ago, my face was just very, very distorted. I didn't go out. I didn't do a whole lot. I stayed home. Then Friday, August 5th, she asked me to come in at 7 o'clock in the evening to loosen them up yet one more time. She said that she was having a training all day and that she would do it afterwards, which I repeatedly said, let's just wait till the next week. I didn't want her to be in the stressed state and where she had been focused on training all day and then having to deal with my face that evening. And she insisted, no, that I come. Okay, I will be there. I got there. The training was still going on. I waited for an additional 45 minutes. At that time, she came out. Nina has always been very kind and polite and very nice to me. At that point, I went and sat in the chair, and there was a man there. There was a man there in black scrubs, black mask, black hat. I was never introduced to him. He never said 2 words to me. They spoke among themselves in Russian. She showed him my before pictures. He seemed very agitated. He seemed like, to me, like he was correcting a mistake she had made. And now to back it up, there had been a comment on one of my posts that Nina had shared on her page, her Facebook page, business page, that another woman in London had commented that my procedure had been done too tight and that they were too tight, and good luck with that. So we had already had one person that is a trainer in London assess my face, the way it looked, and already say that they were done incorrectly, that they were too tight. This whole time, Nina has never admitted that maybe she did them a little too tight, and don't worry, Renee, we will just fix this. She's just like, come back, we'll loosen. This is normal. At this point, coming to Friday, August the 5th, she had already adjusted them 2 times before. And I was just crossing my fingers that this would be the last time that I would have to sit there and be poked and pulled on, which to me did not seem normal at all. That has never happened to me in the past. So I was hoping that this was the last time. Back in the chair, like I said, there was a man there. And from what I understand now, I guess he is some surgeon that she works under. I don't know. Like I said, I was never introduced to him. I was never told who he was. I was never told that he would be touching me. But he seemed to have taken over as soon as I sat in the chair. Nina and him both had lidocaine. Nina numbed this side, he numbed this side, and then she left the room. And this is where I have a problem, because I was her client. I was not his client. And I don't know who he is, or I don't care who he is, or what kind of doctor he may be or not be. I don't know. But she left me alone in there with him. And he proceeded to never say one word to me. He just forced my head. He held my face down, not facing him. He was standing on this side of me. Pushed my head down so hard in the chair and proceeded to make an additional hole underneath where the thread was, and was working on trying to loosen that up. While he was doing this, I had my arms down. I'm very good about not moving, not jerking. I have several tattoos, and I just sit there. At that point, I was feeling a bit anxious. He was not, like I said, he was not conversing with me. He was not saying, is this okay? Are you okay? Nothing. He proceeded to lean against me, and I could feel his dick on my arm. He was wearing scrubs. It was very inappropriate, very unprofessional, and it didn't feel like he was doing it in a sexual way. It felt more like a power play. Like, I'm the doctor, I'm the professional, I'm going to do this to you however I want, and you're just going to sit there and let me do it because I'm doing her a favor. That is how it felt to me. He proceeded to hold my head down, do whatever he did here, and then at some point he actually pulled my cheek, was pulling it like out. And I was in so much pain. Even though they had lidocaine this area, it felt like he was pulling the meat off the bone. And at that point, I winced loud enough for Nina to hear me. And And I believe she was just cleaning up the studio and getting ready to go home because now it's after 8. It's getting dark outside. She comes back in. You okay? You okay? She taps me on the head. It's okay. It's okay. And walks back out again. At this point, I'm like, I just need to get out of here. He hadn't even touched this side. This side of my face was numb. This side was not touched. He proceeded to mess with this side and then was like, told her something. This was bleeding. They got a little Band-Aid, put it on there, sat up. And I did what I always do when I am in shock and feel my body shutting down. I put a smile on my face. I said, okay, thank you. I don't even recall any kind of conversation that I had with Nina because everybody was just trying to get out of there. And I remember going to leave and he was right behind me. And I thought, is this guy going to follow me out to my car? What is going on? He was freaking me out. I walked outside. My car was parked right in front. He walked out right behind me, lit a cigarette. And when I went to put my key in my car to get in, he looked at me and he said, have a good night. I got in my car and I took off and I got halfway down the road and just started bawling. The fact that he could tell me have a good night, but he didn't say 2 words to me while he had his dick on my arm and was pushing my head down and was pulling my cheek, was just too much. And I have had an instance about 8 years ago where I was physically assaulted and raped, and all of those feelings that I felt then came back while he was doing that to my face. And so the response, I was very, very triggered. This should have never happened. Nina should have been in there with me the whole time. She should have been the one holding my hand and watching what he was doing to see how to correct this. It still wasn't, he loosened it a little bit, but it still was not where it is now. And the only reason my face looks as well as it does now is because Deborah has worked on it since then. I know Nina went for a training the week after that and the week after that. And I was told to not text her anymore, that any correspondence should be done through the patient portal, whatever, which is where I guess I'm going to send this video to. After that Friday, the 5th, I was done. I got into bed and I couldn't get up the next morning. I was so anxious and triggered that it brought back so many memories of being held down and having no power. And I was also angry at myself. Why do I let people in authority do things to me? Like I was angry that I didn't say, dude, you're hurting me. Get off of me. What, that is inappropriate. Women tend to shrink. And he was definitely, I don't want to call him an asshole, but he was definitely like, I've been here all day. We're going to do this and we're going to do it my way. And you're going to be glad that I did it and you can go on your way. And that's how it felt. And it was very, very traumatizing to me. And it took me several weeks. The only thing that got me up the next day was that my son that lives in California surprised me. I had no idea. He showed up on my door. I had to get out of bed. I had to suck in the tears. I had to suppress everything that I was feeling. And he was only here for 2 days. During that time, Deborah did call me to check on me, and I lost it all over again. I told her what happened. I told her how it made me feel. I was so grateful to be able to tell someone, because I didn't feel like I could tell Nina. I didn't feel like I could tell my boyfriend. I didn't feel I could tell anyone what had happened to me. And the only reason I'm telling you this now is because I don't know. It makes me think, does this man have other women? Have there been other complaints from other women? At his bedside manner was horrible. And I know he's done work on Nina, and I know that he may be her mentor or whatever, but I was her client and she should have been there with me. And she wasn't. And the ball was dropped. And there was never, ever a, I'm sorry, Renee. Maybe I did it a little too tight. We're going to continue to work on it. I'll make sure that this is all fine. I went there that Friday night with more money to give her more money for taking the time to do this. And when that happened to me, I just shut down. I was like, she wasn't even there. She was there, but she wasn't there with me, present with me. She didn't witness any of it. So I am to the place now where I am feeling better about my face. All I get in response is, oh, the lifting is great. Well, yeah. My jawline looks better. It's always looked better from the bottom lip down. It was this crazy Joker thing and this thing and the flat cheek that's just been a huge issue. And now when I see my face, I have to work hard mentally to not experience that man's dick on my arm and the trauma that he caused me while doing what he did to me, which no one should ever have to go through. That's not normal for PLLA threads or PDO threads or any kind of threads that a client should have to go through. If I could go back, yeah, my jawline looks better, but it was definitely not worth the frustration and the sheer anxiety and trauma that was caused to myself. And I'm so grateful. I'm glad that the other women did not have to experience that and that their procedures went well and that they were happy. Like I said, I do not think that this is the norm at all. I think it's very much a circumstance that happened to me. I don't know why, because I can handle it, because I always handle shit like this. And people usually get away with shit, but at this time, I needed to say what happened. And I don't expect any action to be taken at all. I just thought you should know what my experience was and how it was for me. And I'm continuing to heal, and hopefully this last piece will release, because it looks pretty good right now. And my mirror in the bathroom is not so good, but this still hasn't released. Once it does, I'm hoping to get a little bit of filler back in my cheek. But I hope this helps, and I hope in the future things could be handled a little bit different. Thank you.